It's BBC Radio Oxford. Phil with you on a Sunday morning. Now, this may be a bit specific, but it could involve you. Do you play the saxophone? Because there's an amazing group. Earlier on, we were talking to the Boys Brigade. I mean, this sounds a little bit like the Cub Scouts / Boys Brigade for grown-ups, for people who play the saxophone. The Sax Bandits. It's a group that welcomes saxophone players of all ages and abilities. How good does that sound? Oh, it's very good. Let's have a chat to Rob Digweed. He is... Are you really this, Rob? The sorcerer of sax?
Yeah, that's me.
How often do you get introduced as that?
I mean, not overly often. It's normally just a email sign-off, but it goes with the territory, I think.
I bet it does. Just explain a little bit then. So you are the leader of the Sax Bandits.
Yes, that's correct.
I alluded to it being a bit like the Boys Brigade, but for grown-ups playing the saxophone.
I think that's fair.
Yeah? So it's a group of people who play the sax, obviously very well, because what we're listening to just sounds fantastic. How did all this begin?
So... It's really the power of a collective there that you're hearing. This is a band really for all ages and abilities. So you're hearing a wide spectrum of players there, and it's really just that safety and numbers aspect that pulls everything together and makes it sound just great as a force of nature and a unit together, really.
Now, you've got lots of these groups that meet up. And I'm quite amazed by this. So, 3 here in Oxfordshire. There are some that happen elsewhere, but I don't care about those. You mentioned they're of all ages. How does it work? What happens? You all rock up in a village hall somewhere, or what?
It's pretty much like that, yeah. So this is a once-a-month kind of occasion, and we just have everyone descend upon us, and we usually have sessions of around 20 to 30 people, so it's a lot of noise in one room, but it sounds amazing when we're all playing together. And I think people really look forward to it each month as well.
Yeah, I bet they do. Tell me a little bit about you. How did you get into this? When did you first pick up a saxophone?
Yeah, so I started clarinet when I was 9, and then realised quite quickly that the saxophone was way cooler. So I moved to that when I was 13.
Why do parents do that?
Stuck with it.
I remember, so when I was a kid, and I'm awful at this, but my parents were like, okay, you must play musical instruments. There was a piano in the house, so we tried that. Terrible. And then there was, at primary school, the opportunity to learn a brass instrument. So I was handed a trombone, which I then murdered pretty much for 3 years solidly, and eventually retired through, well, goodwill to the rest of human nature. But why do we get given the instruments like the oboe, the clarinet, the flute, the violin, when actually there's a saxophone over there or an electric guitar? Yes. You know, these cool musical instruments.
Yeah, I think that's a bit unfair to the oboe players out there.
True, very true.
I definitely agree with that. I think clarinets are just way more accessible, certainly used to be, but saxophones have become so commonplace now, and it's amazing to see how the instrument has just gained popularity. And I think this band is really testament to that, because I'm constantly amazed at how many saxophone players there are out there in the world, just kind of hiding and unaware that there's actually somewhere they can play as an amateur. And that's really what we're catering for here.
And is this for you your way of expressing your sax appeal? I don't know, that's a terrible phrase, but or do you play this professionally as well? What else do you do?
Yeah, so me personally, I play professionally, and I play, on the wedding and function circuit. I've also played regularly alongside Nick Hayward from Haircut 100. So that's kind of my big gig, and very much enjoy performing, but always wanted to kind of do something for beginners, learners, because I didn't have that opportunity to play in a band like this, and I think I would have loved it. And I know that people just enjoy playing these rock and pop tunes, you know?
Yeah. Can I just, we must listen to this little bit here that we've got, because I know you did a remote rendition of Celebrate. Let's just have a quick listen to this. Do you know what, Rob? I'm always amazed by the ability that, like, the sax is not just a standard saxophone, isn't it? It comes in actually lots of sizes and sounds.
Yes, entirely. It's a whole family.
Yeah. Which one do you play?
So, I mean, I play them all because I'm a little greedy, and it's kind of a job to know how to play them all. But yeah, there's 4 kinds of saxophone, from the very lowest bari sax to the highest soprano sax, which is the kind of Kenny G one.
Yeah. Now, you've done a lot of collaborations, haven't you, with some well-known names as well. You mentioned one there.
Yeah, we've been busy over lockdown.
Yeah. How's that worked?
Well, we suddenly found ourselves, like many other people, unable to meet in person, which is kind of our main thing. So we decided to do some virtual collaborations, do some lockdown videos, and just have something to motivate people during these lockdowns. And we ended up doing 3 lockdown videos in total. And the one you just played there, we collaborated with Scott Gilman, who is a fantastic sax player in the US, who has currently been on tour with Jeff Goldblum, the actor, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Right, we should just talk a little bit, because we've probably wetted the whistle for somebody out there who's been hiding the sax in the loft for ages, thinking, I want to play it again. How do these work? So you've got 3 bands that meet up in Oxfordshire. How often, where, what, when? What can we do to encourage people to get back into playing their saxophones?
Yeah, so we've got 3 sessions that meet once a month in Wallingford, Whitney and Tame. They're kind of our 3 main areas there. And we take anyone that's learning currently, or maybe people that used to play and have not played for 20 years and just want to get back to it and kind of ease in. That's entirely who this band is for. So if you've got a sax in the loft or you used to play, this will be perfect for anyone.
Very good. And, well, then what we should do is just signpost. How can people find out more about this?
Yeah, sure. Our website has all the details, and that's saxbandits.co.uk.
Rob, thank you very much, and I hope it goes well. When are you next playing anywhere that we might be able to come and see you?
Sax Bandits don't have any current performances planned. Hoping we can get back to that very soon, certainly as things are starting to open up again. When we do, we will be bringing all the bands together for one ginormous 100-person plus band. So It will be epic when we do finally do that concert.
Oh, tell us about it. When it comes up, we must know about that. Rob, thank you very much for coming up. Really lovely talking to you. Rob Digweed there. It's BBC Radio Oxford. Saxbandits.co.uk is where you need to go for that. The Sorcerer Sax, Rob Digweed there. It's BBC Radio Oxford. We will explain what we mean by Kit Out the Nation in a moment, because we're going to need your help.